Four big football games this week, with 3 on Thanksgiving Thursday and 1 standalone game on Black Friday. And we've got everything you need to know when it comes from a betting perspective for all 4 games. And it starts right now with myself, Ninja, here with Mitch Bannon and Nick Holtz from OddsShark. And Mitch, I want to start with you here on that Packers-Lions game. Odds as we sit here early in the week. Lions minus 7.5, total of 46.5. Mitch, the Lions have really owned the Packers lately, 4-0 straight up and against the spread in the last 4 meetings. And then going back even further, the Lions have been money against the Pack, going 11-2 ATS in the previous 13 matchups. Does anything change this week?
I don't think so. And those stats, I saw those 2 were pretty surprising to me. I think when you think historical Packers-Lions matchup, you think a Lions team that was just going away unhappy every single time. I guess they were covering the spread. So they were good for the bettors, but not good for the Lions fans. I think they're going to be good for the Lions fans and the bettors this week. I think they're going to cover 7.5. I think the key here is they're just going to shut down the Packers run. The Packers allow the 4th fewest yards per carry in the league. The Packers are bottom half in yards per carry as an offensive team. They haven't had an individual player rush for over 75 yards in 6 weeks. A.J. Dillon's a little banged up. And if you can't run the ball against the Lions, I don't know if I really trust Jordan Love in the passing attack there either. They have some more injuries as well. I think it's going to be a bit of a sloppy affair. I think the Lions are going to be able to put up 26 to 30 points. I can't see the Packers coming anywhere close to that.
Any player props you like for this one at all?
Yeah, this is going to sound a little weird considering I just said I think the Lions are going to run away from it, but I like Jared Goff over 0.5 interceptions. You can get that around even right now, minus 105 most places. He's got 5 picks in his last 4 weeks, through 3 pretty bad picks over the weekend against the Bears. And the Packers' pass defense, they're 4th in the league with 17 interceptions. So all of that's kind of coming together, leading me for a Goff interception. I think he'll probably keep it to 1, allowing me to get the best of both worlds with the Lions hit too.
Nick, I'm going to go a little off script here. I know you're a Packers fan. Did that pain you a little bit to listen to that, or are you in agreement with Mitch?
You know what? Times are tough in Green Bay. We've had a phenomenal run the past 2 decades against the Lions. But like I wrote in this week's betting roundup, the Lions have been phenomenal on both sides of the football this season. And I really like the Lions to cover the spread and come away with the victory on Thursday.
All right, let's pivot here to the Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. We've got minus 11 for the spread, 48.5 for the total. Dallas 1-11 against the spread in their last 12 Thanksgiving games. Potentially one of the great betting stats that there is. But Washington coming off that terrible loss to Tommy DeVito and the Giants, though. So something has got to give here in the department of futility, does it not, Nick?
Well, I see those trends, but I'll give you a few more here. Favorites have actually gone 46-8 straight up and 36-18 against the spread at 10 or more points since 2005. They're also 8-0 against the spread and 11-0 against the spread as double-digit favorites in the past 30 years. I really like Dak at home in this one. He's been a different animal against the Commanders, going 5-0 straight up, throwing 13 touchdowns and no picks. I love the Cowboys. Sam Howell is the quintessential gunslinger. He threw 3 terrible interceptions last week, and I think he gives the Cowboys defense, led by Deron Bland, an opportunity to score some points on Thursday.
So are you saying that we take a Cowboys defense touchdown, or are we playing turnover props in this one?
I would love a Cowboys defense touchdown. I believe it's plus 750 right now. I also like Jake Ferguson to score. He's at plus 250. You can still find that despite him being tied with Devontae Adams for the most red zone targets in the NFL this season.
Mitch, back to you for my beloved San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks 7-point home dogs here, total 42.5 on the board. Niners, everyone's darling through 5 weeks of the regular season, then dropped 3 in a row in soul-crushing fashion. Now cooking again with back-to-back wins. Some injuries on both teams, though, notably for Seattle. Potentially that Kenneth Walker is out, which means more Zach Charbonnet. So what are you liking in this one?
You're going to like to hear that. I think the roller coaster of San Francisco is going to climb at least for another week. I think there'll be a few more gyrations as the season goes on, but I think we're on the up. I don't know if I want to go -7 Niners this week. I don't know if they're going to win by maybe 4 points. I think my lean is the Seattle team total under. The offense has kind of gone stagnant the last few weeks. They're averaging 17.5 points over the last 6 games. Geno's become particularly turnover prone, especially in the red zone. So I think the Niners are going to get the win. Hit them on the money line if you must. Add them to your parlays. But if you're looking for a game pick, I'm going Seattle team total under.
So the Hufanga injury doesn't bother you that much?
No, not really. That defense has had injuries all season. Like Nick Bosa missed a little time. They had a couple guys on the defensive line. Obviously, it hurt them in those 3 losses in a row, but I think that Niners defense is particularly good at rebounding from those injuries. If I'm looking for like an individual player mismatch, I think Christian McCaffrey is probably the guy who's going to have the biggest day. Seattle allows the 6th most yards to running backs. That's both receiving yards and rushing yards. Last game against Seattle, he had 138 yards. I think his rushing total is at like 75 right now. That's seeming like a pretty good over for me.
Last one is, of course, Black Friday and Dolphins at Jets. A lot of big spreads for these 4 games here, but we got Jets at home, +9.5. Total is 40.5. Very lopsided at the betting window in this AFC East rivalry. We've got the Dolphins at 8-2 against the spread in the last 10 versus the Jets. Jets having big quarterback issues, well documented, of course, and they'll have a home field advantage. But is it enough to stop Miami, Nick?
I don't think so. I've got no faith in Tim Boyle this week. He's thrown 3 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in only 120 career attempts. And crucially, he enters just his 4th career start. Vic Fangio eats inexperienced quarterbacks alive, as the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator has kept opposing passers with fewer than 16 career starts to 194 passing yards per game, with nearly an interception and over 2.5 sacks. I don't see any way the Jets take this one to the pay window. I'm hopping on the Dolphins under double digits as quickly as I can get it.
I mean, there's got to be, I'm sorry to harp on defense. Like, is this another one where we're looking at Miami defense touchdown props or anything of that nature? Or do you have any other player props on the other side of the ball?
That's where I'm going as well. I'm hopping on the value as soon as that's posted. I'm going to try to find that shop around for the best odds you can find. That's where I'm going in this one as well. I think Jalen Ramsey can find another interception and lead his team to victory.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here, Nick. Jets team total. I've seen at my book it's 16.5, but I've seen as low as 13.5. Now, granted, the under on that 16.5 is -150. But my question, Nick, is this: how low does this team total have to go for you to bet the over on the Jets team total? Are we talking like 6.5? Are we talking 3.5?
I would only bet the over at 6.5 there. I just don't see any way this team can score 3 times against Fangio's defense. I think he finds a way to confound Tim Boyle all afternoon and leads the Miami Dolphins to a big double-digit victory. I would bet the Dolphins all the way up to -14 in this one. I don't see how the Jets can stop Miami's passing attack. They're going to have trouble curtailing Tyreek Hill, and I like the Dolphins to win big.
Whatever you do with your bets, best of luck. Leave your favorite Thanksgiving Thursday or Black Friday bet in the comments section below. Mitch and Nick, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thanks.